Live.
Woo!
We live. We live.
Hey.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, ladies, we are here again.
We
Yes,
are.
yes, yes.
How
And we
y'all
want
What's
to
doing?
brain that is on vacation.
Yes.
We got a
On
couple.
assignment. She's on
Yes,
assignment.
yes.
no co-assignments?
No cosign. What? Okay.
So we love and miss you, Miss Dahlia.
Mwah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes. So, ladies, how has the week been?
Ooh.
Right. Right.
It has been. That's about the best I can say. It's been busy, but blessed nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yes. Blessed nonetheless. Yes. There we go.
Yes. Yes.
So
What about
everyone's.
you?
That's a chorus to something. Blessed
Oh yeah,
nonetheless.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Blessed
yes, yes.
nonetheless.
Oh,
We're
Yes.
making a whole gospel song.
Yep.
let's go.
A whole gospel single. Boss
Yes,
brains. The boss brains bang out.
yes.
Something.
I need my tambourine.
Ma'am. That's a whole ministry in itself. Hey.
The
A
tambourine
whole
ministry. You see what I'm
that is a
saying?
whole ministry by itself.
Amen.
No,
Amen.
this
Amen.
ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but I'm gonna tell y'all. So my mom's church is in the country in Lumberton. And I went one time.
I'm so happy I didn't start drinking this time.
No, don't drink because you ain't ready for none of this. So
Okay. Okay.
the people pull out their tambourines and all this other stuff. I was in there one time. This lady pulled out her washboard and she was. She had the pop between her legs. She had a washboard in there, and she was.
They used to get down with the washboard. That took me back. I wasn't actually there.
Grown. I wasn't a kid. I was grown when this happened.
Wow. She said, and I wasn't a
Oh,
kid. I was grown. Nope.
Woo.
I'm good. I'm good on it.
You was a
That's
part of
everything.
history, literally.
Literally. That's
Oh,
one
that was
generation
good.
off from Harriet Tubman and what they child.
Praise
I'm not
him.
gonna
Oh
You
my
right.
Lord.
You right. You right. I'm childish. That
Oh,
was
okay.
I,
sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I needed that. I'm gonna tell you something. I can't
I
get the vision out my head. It's mm.
and then here we go with our fans
It
looking
was
like
a
church
visiting
ladies.
church, and it was a visiting pastor, and I think it was his wife. Man, it was the most. It was.
Tap me out. Tap me out. Tap me out. I'm
Woo.
done. Tap
Oh,
me
the
out.
same way.
Oh gosh.
We country, we old school, but we wasn't that old school. But they brought
Oh,
it back
Let
that
me
day.
tell you something.
Hilarious.
that is the
That was
AME
authentic.
Zion.
Listen,
That sounds like Pentecostal right there. My God.
Oh
that
yeah,
was as close to the Lord
yes.
as
My
she could
mom,
get. Right
my
there.
mom's church is a Pentecostal holiness church.
Holiness, yes.
Mm.
I can't.
Say no more.
I cannot.
We already know. You already know.
Oh, I
No.
can't.
Church
That's
lasts
good.
from morning till dinner time, and they have dinner waiting for you when you're done.
Ooh, at least you get some sustenance.
And get
Praise the
some.
Every
Lord.
time you smell the chicken and that
Ooh.
cooking while you in there praising, you be like, "Ooh, it's got to be time to eat."
Something about that food ministry. My God.
Wait. Okay, you know what?
All
We
right,
we can go down a rabbit hole, but
A
I'm not
whole.
going.
I'm
I'm gonna
done.
bring myself back. I'm not gonna do
You're,
it.
I'm
Okay.
done. I'm sorry.
Woo. Okay.
well,
Oh my goodness.
ladies, I'm excited about our feature this evening. It
Me
is so fantastic to
too.
be reconnected to a lot of the artists that we haven't seen in so long.
Yeah.
Our poetry family. So I am excited about tonight's show because it's been a while since we've
Yeah.
seen this individual. So y'all
Well,
ready?
yes, I'm ready whenever you are. And you know what? We're gonna slide out and let you give this intro.
I'm gonna give this intro. Let me just put my thing on it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, this evening we are so privileged to feature the Risen Phoenix, our dear, 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 dear good friend, the Risen Phoenix. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him if you don't already know. He's a native of Durham, NC, Bull City. He's a military bred, loving son, brother, and father. And he's a strong advocate on the concept of spreading the love he has acquired over his life. That is so you. I love that. His trials and many aspects of his life and the resilience and resolve to rise and conquer them have inspired him to find his connection to the Phoenix, which is an explanation of his name. And we're going to get more into that with him when we talk with him. His experience with the poetry world has lasted over and spanned over the last 12 years, but his stage experience is much more vast than that. He is an avid, and I know this for a fact, vocal music and songwriting artist, and his current works are all grounded in all of that stylistically, which I also can attest to. He has written books. We're going to talk about that. And he has, everybody is writing. I'm loving this. He has a book that's coming out near future, but not confirmed, as he says, that's called Love in Every Way. And he would like to share all of his love. He wants to hear everyone. He wants to share all of his love with everyone. Eroticism is also part of his mantra. I love how he threw that in there. He's not slick. Anyways, welcome to the Brainstorm. This week's feature, the Risen Phoenix. Come on here. Come on over here. Hi. Don't start. You ready, sir? We ready for you?
I am.
All right. I'm gonna slide on off here. You go be you. I'm excited.
Right. My wings have been broken many a time. A mind frozen from personal binds of what I wanted and what was truly needed. The soil of growth been choked and weeded by the stigma that I could do better. But better wasn't said or made clever through a mountain of cheddar. In my head and my heart started growing apart, and I thought that others were better off without me, doubting myself. Like the Thomases I encountered over the years who longed for tears to form from my eyes, who despised my positive disposition and positioned themselves for deception. My direction skewed. My oral hues were darkened. I hearkened to the voice of misdirection. See, I anticipated one outcome while the right one eluded me. I exuded some knowledge, but it was more a danger than an asset. And my debts grew larger with each lager I down. I drowned in a pool of OE as me and the wrong conscience went amiss. I wished at the time that I could start all over, but I knew as soon as I was sober that I was living in a fallacy. So I awoke the next day on my back, broken and lack with no intent of flying, dying a death only celestial being to see. To the cornea, I was jolly, decorated with holly and ivy, spreading cheer I didn't believe in at that moment, feeling spent as a dollar being dispersed in pennies. To each life that I encountered, I floundered like a salmon struggling to go upstream to sow prosperous seeds. I needed a new direction, so one day I arose from a weekend sleep, let new life seep into my system, and I called my first vet. He met me in my deepest gutters and reminded me the shutters of his abode had always been open. As he saw my broken state, he took my broken wings and mended them with just one touch. How much did it cost to recover what was once lost? Less than you think from me, but more from him than you could ever imagine. When all is dim and you feel you've fallen, just start calling your vet. See, you know his name. And that lame fowl you once thought yourself to be could be born anew. And once again, you could become aviary. My wings have been broken many a time. And each time I find a way to fly again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right now. All right.
Started off strong.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So it's time. We're gonna delve right into it.
Okay.
Tell us about the inspiration. First of all, does that piece have a name?
Yes, it's called Broken Wings. And the inspiration for the song came from one of my favorite 80s inspirations called Mr. Mister.
Yes.
That
Yes,
is
Mr. Mister. Yeah.
the title of the song by the same name. I've actually recorded this song before. And I learned that
It's about to be a concert. It's about to be a concert.
so that gave me an opportunity to use some of my musical inspiration to form something in a poetic way. And it was so apropos for me to write something that involves something like this, especially being who I am, being the Risen Phoenix, being that my life has always been riddled with ups and downs, and how I ultimately prevail in a positive manner. I mean, from separations, sickness. I mean, I'm also an advocate of those who are like me in the IBD community, inflammatory bowel diseases. I have Crohn's disease. My mother also has Crohn's disease. She's I think she was diagnosed when I was 10, and I was diagnosed when my daughter was exactly 1 month old.
Oh wow!
So when you go through situations like that, when you know that your health is never going to be fully complete, you're never going to fully feel whole, especially after you go through 3.5 surgeries. And you start to realize that there's really not much need to feel down or negative on your life or anyone else's. So that makes who I am. That is such deep fiber within my being that I overcome.
Yeah.
And I can relate to other overcomers. And this poem really just exemplifies a lot of who I am and what I overcome.
Awesome.
Yes.
So
Thank
is
you for
that what you're?
sharing.
I'm sorry, Nikita.
I'm just saying thank you for sharing that. Because I know people have different levels of adversity, but when you can share and also show that you overcame and that you're still pressing forward, it's very inspirational. So I love when we can show that side of struggle.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel like that's what? Who?
Go ahead.
You go.
Oh,
You go.
I was just gonna read some comments. Go ahead.
Is that what? Read the comments because my question is going to lead us down another rabbit hole. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So Candace, Miss Dahlia 22, and Sean is watching. They are all
Oh my goodness.
Candace said, "Hey Queen." So hey. Miss Dahlia 22 said, "Yes, break me." And I did.
You knew it. You knew she.
She can't stay away. We told her to.
We told her.
Yes.
But no.
Right.
But we're excited that you're watching, Miss Dahlia.
Yes.
And I did have a statement, but I'll let the elusive go first. And yeah.
Okay.
So since you've been writing for 12 years, did the writing develop for an emotional dump for everything that you had been encountering and that was your release? Or did you just find yourself being creative and, were you just led to the creation in a different way?
Well, in the infancy of my work, I've been writing for over 20 years.
Right.
It's just that it took me a good friend of mine that I haven't talked to in forever who kind of encouraged me, you know what? Why don't you read some of this stuff? And that introduced me to some, to a whole different world of open mics and poetry slams and, you know, other special people like myself. Just like I was a mutant, I'm a comic book freak. So, you know, it's like I kind of considered the son of Hunter the Professor X. Don't tell him that.
Okay. You kind of already told him yourself, but we won't say nothing.
I know, right? Somebody that tall, you can't even imagine him in a wheelchair. But I've always loved writing. I love writing love poems. I mean,
Right.
even when I really started getting into writing, like really getting to just writing, was when I was in college. And you know, at that time I was going through a lot of stress and pain, being separated from my kids, literally. And then there was times I was separated from my college girlfriend. And then there was times of me just being separated from my friends entirely, because I actually left school early, come back home, because I needed to get a job that I could actually take care of my kids. Well, or pay child support. That's not always the same thing. But I always believed that things would get better. And I think writing was kind of what helped me get over and get through those times.
Yeah.
And performing just made it even more fun because, well, you know,
because you enjoy that,
right?
So you say you've been writing over 20 years. Can you recall the first thing that was written, and in your mind, just kind of think about the evolution up to the way you write now, and what was your process like?
I used to call myself a simple A B type poet. You know, like I think one year I started writing poems every other day because my girlfriend at the time had decided she was going to go into the military. So she was in Fort Jackson.
Ooh, okay.
And I was in summer school. And I just write summer poems during the summer. Oh, how I miss you. I wish I was beside you. I wish that you could, you know, whatever. Anyway, so then I went to Fort Jackson and we
did not wish you were at Fort Jackson with her. I'm gonna just say that. I've been there. You ain't wish that.
I went to visit her a couple times. But it's funny. It's like somewhere in between all of that and the next school year starting, I was like, I need to do something different. And the one poem I can still recall writing, I can't say I remember it very well, but it was a poem. It was called Think About This. And it's like, what has grown in fruition and heightened our intuitions, has made our bond stronger, and no longer are we going to be apart, but yada yada, stuff like that. But it was actually a good poem, because that poem, I bet you I wrote that poem somewhere around 2001, something like that. And that's the first poem that I ever read at an open.
Wow.
Okay. Trivia.
Yes.
Risen Phoenix trivia.
I know, right?
Right?
I'm glad I teased that out of you.
Yeah, you did.
Right there. Yes. Okay, I'll be quiet for now.
Well, you know, I'm an open book.
Okay. Well, I have a question now.
Yes, ma'am.
So where do you? Because you know you were talking about Crohn's disease and how you live with this. It's a daily struggle.
Right.
And I just want to know, where do you draw your positivity from and your happiness and all of that? Because when I see you, you are joy, you are happiness. You spread love wherever you go, wherever you can, and that's just part of who you are. And dealing with, as you said, something like this and it's an everyday struggle, where do you find your positivity and happiness and able to spread it and all that good stuff?
The fact that I know that other people are going through something, and I want them to find some light in their life. Yeah. When I was regularly going to City Soul, and I was meeting new people, and I got to take my ussies. You know, I used to take millions of ussies. I had no idea who these people were, but I also have no idea where they came from. So shedding a little light, or just giving them the time and attention that they may have not even had before they walked in the doors. That's not just me on a Wednesday night. That's me every day. And I want it to be that way, because to be honest with you, they probably feel the same way about me. We don't know 2 cents about this little skinny, light-skinned dude walking around and acting a fool. You know, I can never sit still. I get that from my mom. And I just can't help it. I'm sorry, because I'm not going to change. I'm not going to apologize.
Right.
No, we don't want you to. Because right now, when you said I don't know why I keep going to Bible verse. We done sang a church song. We done went to church. We done came back. So now I'm going to say this. You right now, you are the light and the way. And the way that light is over your head and the way your locks are flowing right now, I'm just saying.
Hey, I did this on purpose. You know, the stuff stays back when I'm working.
It does.
It's tired of that.
I knew it was going to show out for us tonight. I knew it.
The visuals right now, you know, we'll go back. We'll go back to Tamarine in a minute.
And I'm a Leo, so I got to let my main flow. So
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, especially since somebody just made the month August sound so bad right now. Anyway,
you drifted off. What you say? Repeat that. I didn't hear you.
I said even though somebody making the month of August sound so bad right now.
Oh no, it's not. No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think any of it is a bad thing.
It doesn't. No, it's life.
I mean, you know what? I think everybody spoke their truth. Everybody said where they were and what's going on in the relationships that they had. And it's really none of our business. However, since it is our business and we're in it, I'm not mad at any of it. It is what it is.
Yeah, you're right.
And even for a man to come on, as August came on and express his hurt and all that, I don't think he should be shamed for any of that. I don't think Will and Jada should be shamed for their relationship and how they decide to do their relationship. None of it. I'm fighting for the truth and the way they're living. And if more people live their lives that way, they would probably be happier instead of waiting for people to fall or do what.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it happens every day, all the time.
Yes, it does.
It's just the fact that they're
fighting on this type of scale. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Right. But I digress.
And
I'm not going to more. The same people that are condemning it probably got it going on in their house themselves.
Or wish they could, but ain't nobody trying to hang with them like that.
Hello. First person, let alone the second. So them sit down somewhere and leave them people alone.
Take several seats and lay across them and immerse thyself in sitting.
What? There's some people that would like to be in certain people's shoes. We just say
right.
Somehow I have a feeling that you have a poem that speaks to being in different people's shoes. So I'm ready. I'm ready to hear some.
Is it time?
Okay.
You ready? Do you have something else?
I'm gonna go a little old school with this one. Yeah, I got you.
Let it slide out.
We out.
Let me be the toaster to your bread. Warm you up until you're hot to the touch. Be that strawberry spread that'll make you red as I smother you with sweetness over and under. Let me be that thunder that'll make you quake as I gently touch each and every spot that makes you uncontrollably hot. A sliver of a shiver from the pleasure I deliver will grow to the height of your seismic scale. Let me be the sender of your mail as I lick you and stick you and drop you into my solitary box to send back to myself over and over again. Let me be that shoulder your head can call home, even the chest you can use as a metronome, even that oven to your ice cream cone as you melt down from the sheer physical interaction. Let me be the satisfaction of caramel-filled chocolate that will ooze with a succulent booze as you become drunk with desire. Let me be that live wire that'll bring you back to life and bring out that wife in you, for what I do inspires what you do in the voodoo, and you wants to stick it to the husband and me. So let me be the prey to your lioness as you attack from pure starvation through the elimination of physical limitation. Let me be the piston to your motor as I move methodically inside of you while you decide to recite choruses of my 5-letter name with 4-letter expletives while nearby relatives awaken without even knowing what hit them. Let me be that dial that turns the volume down after an eternity of energy has been spent. Be that pent-up show of embrace that you've long awaited for after the passionate storm to keep you warm as the air beats on your already drenched flesh. Let me be the whisper in your ear of sweet everythings, of a life together that we have spoken life into. Just let me be me with you.
Yes.
Let
There it
me
is.
be.
There it is.
Ooh,
There it
yes.
is.
The one
Let
to
me.
run to whenever you need it. So you make
Hey,
You started it off.
let me be. Oh,
Started it off right. He said, "Let me be the toaster to your bread."
Your
Oh,
bread.
okay. I'm locked.
Oh, it's
wow.
about to get
Well,
hot.
I heard that.
right.
I love when you write love poems because I I don't really know anyone else who writes love poems the way you do.
I love love. It's
I
beautiful.
I mean it's clear. It's very apparent. Very, very, very apparent. So was there a particular person that was like so I know you're in a current relationship, so I'm not trying to bring up horrible table, round table, any table,
No, no,
black table stuff. But was there a particular person that you were writing that one about?
I don't even know.
Right.
I really don't.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I love your love poems because it don't even have to be about anybody. You just sit
Yeah,
and go, I feel love today.
yeah. You want to know a secret?
Yeah.
Some of my best love poems come when I'm not involved with someone.
And you know
That's
what?
real.
It's so
That's
funny that you
real.
say that because it's
Relationships are
almost
work.
like
Right.
right, and it's like you script and
I get it.
pen the love
What was
that
the
you would
title of that one?
desire
Yeah,
to
let me do that.
share.
Oh, I'll
Boom.
let you guess what the title of that poem
Oh,
is. No, it's just called
fill,
Let
Let Me
me
Be.
be.
fill me up, buttercup. I don't know.
It's called Let Me Be. I do
Yeah.
have a certain friend of mine, when they heard that poem after the show, they were like, when you write that poem? I looked at him like, wouldn't you like to know?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Mm.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I like that
Nope.
one.
I ain't saying no names.
I don't. Right. That's okay.
And I will say here on the brainstorm and intimate poetry experience.
Uh-huh.
Oh, if you want to help and donate to our feature, you can drop at $bossbrains. However, what I was going to say is, I just want to say sometimes we like to dig deeper. We like to find out more information. And I
Mhm.
think that you're holding back. I hear you, but you're holding back. When you said you didn't want to say names, you holding back on us.
Would
Leo, talking to the lioness. Don't think I didn't catch that line in there. Talking about, yeah. Who you talking to?
man. Oh man.
Oh shucks now.
Let me just take a
Mm.
sip of this real quick. Just a little sip.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
Lord,
sit
you
over
should
here and
have
see
tea in
how
that
that goes.
cup.
We're trying to get the tea from you.
What? Look, I got Gatorade. I'm sorry, but
It's
You
fine. There's electrolytes in that. Go ahead and electrify.
and
Mm.
Right.
quench my thirst.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. And We're back. So.
Right.
Alrighty then.
You know.
Hello.
So what can you tell us about the inspiration about this poem? How about that? Let me see if I can Rubik's Cube it.
Let's just say the most memorable relationships or entanglements you have in your life do not have to last forever. Sometimes they don't even have to last but a few months.
Weeks.
But
days.
it can last hours. What are you talking about?
A day.
A day?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they didn't touch you. Doesn't mean that they don't mean anything to you. It's just it expired.
Right. Here it is. Some people, even afterwards, mean more to you than they will ever imagine.
Exactly. And as Elusive was just saying about Rubik's Cube, Marcus is watching.
That's right. That's what
Yes.
I said.
Don't think. Oh, tell Marcus. I saw his video.
Oh
That
no,
was
you tell
fire.
him. He
Okay.
watching and he listening to you.
Fire.
Yes.
Don't forget I'm a Facebook friend too. Look for me.
Yeah.
Yes. TC just joined too. Hey TC. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on them Phoenix.
Wait, ain't nobody sleeping on the Phoenix.
No.
Phoenix is flying. Speaking of flying,
Yes.
That wasn't a good transition. I just said that. I made it seem like it's about to be real something. But let's talk about your writing process, because we've been asking a lot of our features that. What is your process look like? Do you stream of conscious? Do you you look at something and go, oh, let me get that and write, a snippet down and then go back and kind of fill that out? Or is it all of that?
Would it surprise you if I told you it comes in many different ways? Many different ways. There's some of my best poems have come from just coming straight in my room, sitting down, get in front of my computer, and just let your mind go crazy.
Right.
And you can sit there. I told somebody that I wrote a poem that I performed one night. Can't remember which one it was. About 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And not every idea takes that long. I know one poem it took me like 6 months to write.
Right.
Only because, and I think part of that is because, your thought process can get sidetracked sometimes. And then there's other times where you're so in a zone that absolutely nothing will stop you. Not even like 20 babies running in your room will stop you from writing, from getting that idea out.
You said 20 babies?
Okay, there ain't been 20 babies in the house.
Right, let's not do that. I literally just got triggered.
Oh, I had to lay back.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to traumatize you, ladies. I'm sorry.
You fine. We gonna fan. We just gonna sit here and fan. You keep talking.
Adrian needs a fan.
But yeah, you're right. Sometimes you get lasered in, and you just kind of go right.
Yeah. The hardest type of poems for me to write are like really serious, hard-hitting type poems. Doesn't mean I don't write them. It just it's like my heart really has to be in a deep, dark place for that to happen. And as you can probably imagine, that rarely happens. But when it does get to that point, it does come out. I remember I wrote Shout, which is a more politically centered poem. Right now. Yeah. And you can tell I love going early music. So I wrote that song, and of course the song that inspired me to write the poem and somehow came the way it was one of my other favorite groups, Tears for Fears.
I mean, Tears for Fears. Hello, yay.
And it just had, and it's like, these are the things I think without, and all of a sudden, that's the first line of the poem. It's like,
right.
One thing I can do without.
Right, right, right.
Oh,
that energy.
I'm talking to you.
Right.
Yes. That took me back a little bit.
I wish I could base all of my poems off a song and they sound great. I mean, I wrote a poem based off the song Trippin' with LMA.
Yeah.
And I read it once and it's lost in the catacombs with all my other stuff.
Oh, you told the wrong folks that.
I was just gonna say, can we get that next? Because you know,
because we'll pull that out.
I'm done tripping.
Like, y'all have me open my phone up.
Oh no, we definitely want you to open some phones up. Go ahead, open that up. Let that fiber let that fiber flow freely through these electronicals.
You know, you can mention stuff around us and us not ask to hear it because we know it comes from you. And you said it, and the song popped in my head. I was like, "Ooh, I want to hear it."
Right.
You know what? You know
what he about to say.
You know we're our own worst critic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you have your favorite critics here right now.
I'm not a critic. I'm a fan.
You know I appreciate y'all.
Yes.
More than I really do. Lady, you got me tripping.
We out.
Oh, you ready? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm reading.
Let's flat out.
We ready to
Y'all really want me to read this poem? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Lady, you got me tripping. I feel like I'm slipping, feel like I'm sipping the very fountain Ponce de Leon spent his entire earthly days searching for my youthfulness springs eternally, and your juices permeate my every pore. You make me scream for more of your attention, for the very mention of your name sends goosebumps, sensing what dangers and horrors being without you would truly entail. That's why the spell you cast on me is one I pray will last on me. You needn't use bullets for ammo, but the arrows himself crafted like he drafted me as his only pick. The one-man team not even LeBron would be worthy of. You make loving you a peaceful stream, allowing the ebb and flow to calm my limbs, my spirit, and my loins. Yes, being joined with you in sights and oneness reserved for us in a restaurant with only one booth. The soothing touch of your silken skin glides along my frame like a world-class figure skater, wooing the crowd of my cells, maximizing the reach of my follicles, meaning it's only logical that I worship your temple in solemn praise. You were raised to live moments just like this. I missed you before I even knew you. That's why I pursue you and your happiness even harder now. Yeah, you got me tripping. And the only thing that's missing is to accomplish this once impossible mission. One even Ethan Hunt couldn't complete. For you, complete levels of me not meant to be partaken alone. You reluctantly condoned this pursuit at one time. But now that you're mine, you've been satisfied as I, fulfilling a hunger a case of Snickers could never compare to. We dare to be examples, and now others are begging for samples of our trade secrets. To be honest, we stumbled upon destiny as easily as the next couple could, but good explanations are non-existent. The fact is, you got me tripping, and I'm just wishing every person could feel the dizzying, surreal feelings that we share. I dare others to find the love they deserve, the kind of love that'll leave their head spinning, like the sinning of relationships past led to the redemption in this one. Lady, you truly got me tripping, and as I keep slipping, I pray that I never recover.
All right.
And this the one. That's the one that you weren't gonna read.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that Ethan Hunt line almost took me out. I'm glad I wasn't because I was like,
Ooh.
oh, he didn't say Ethan Hunt, and then took it
Oh
around.
my
And it,
goodness.
the other part, but you took it to something else, and I was like, where we going? Where we going?
Right. Drop me back off.
And this is what he wasn't gonna read, y'all.
I don't know why he be tripping. It's okay.
I mean, literally.
Like the poem he just did. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. That's how I control these feelings. You keep living. You keep living in you.
So
Okay.
let me ask you this, Risen.
Yes.
How do you
Mr.
know
Phoenix now.
Risen Phoenix? I was short and everything. I need to stop doing that.
No, Mr. Phoenix is my father.
I picked up what you put down. How do you distinguish between when you're getting ready to write a poem versus when you're getting ready to write a song? Because you're a songwriter. So do songs come out as poems and then you sing them? Or do you sit and go, I'm about to write this song? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think that's something I'm really trying to perfect myself. But
Mm-hmm.
because to me, there's a rhythm to each. But in my spirit, I feel like there is a certain distinction to each of those rhythms. Like I feel a lot more free. I don't feel as confined when I'm writing my poetry.
Oh.
Sometimes I feel like I'm more pressured to try to fit everything into a certain
Right.
box
Mm-hmm.
when you're writing a song. And I'm still learning to kind of find a way to mesh the two together because I've heard so many times from a lot of my friends, like Miss LV in particular, because she's always talking about how my poems sound like songs. You know, that's a song right there. Like, okay, you're right. So it's just, I mean, I can think of a few poems right now that I could definitely see myself taking parts of that poem and literally making it a chorus or a hook
Right.
to another song. And I've actually done that on a few occasions. Remember one poem I wrote, and the line was, and when this, hold on, dang it. And when this world is over and all particles disperse, our love forever will never be, I don't know, something.
Okay.
And it's funny because when I play the song and I sing it, I don't forget it. Of course, when
Right.
I'm trying to just bring it up in the back of my head, it's there. It's like, man, I feel so special right now. I am special, but
Well, I have a question, Mr. Special. So tell us about your book or books. How many? You've been working on a book for a while because we talked about a book, your book.
forever.
I want to
Yes.
say it was 2018.
Yes.
Ooh.
Have you done
And
anything more with it since we talked about it, or?
you know what? I officially haven't added anything to it.
Okay.
But I mean, I do remember my first book. I wanted to be 45 poems.
Yes.
I'm like, now that I think about it, oh, maybe I might have kind of made a little bit too much to it.
No,
But
you have 45 poems in you, or
no,
already done.
I got a lot more than 45 poems.
I know. But you can
But
do
I
this.
do hear this. I do love both titles, Love in Every Way and Love's Resurrection. Because
That was the working title that we had talked about.
yes,
Love
yes.
Resurrection. Yeah.
And I still want love's resurrection to come to light.
We'll talk again. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, I will. But I still have everything squared away. I have it, saved and ready to, proofread and edit and, get some feedback. Because I like feedback.
And to be honest, I did all of that. I just didn't give you the feedback. We were supposed to meet, and every time we were supposed to meet, something came up.
Yes, we're busy people.
I know we're gonna get it together for during this COVID 2019. We're gonna do everything electronically. We're gonna get this done because I want this book out by the end of 2020. I'm saying
I can't never be mad at you. I ain't mad at you.
Right.
Well, I ain't
always
mad
talking songs. It's the weirdest thing.
Oh yeah, me and my brother do it all the time. Like if you ever meet my brother, oh my God.
Can we just talk about the fact that I never knew you had a brother? Can we just do that? Okay, continue.
Yeah, I have one fully biological brother, and that is Daryl. Daryl is 50. He turned 50 in February. He looks young in his own way. Like, you got the dark side, you got the light side. He's the dark side. You got the really crazy, outgoing sibling, and then you got the more reserved. Well, you can probably tell which one is which.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
But one thing I can definitely say that me and my brother are definitely alike. We both have the same heart. He is an extremely loving person. And we've always been, and that's what makes us such great siblings. I mean, we've barely done anything to either one of us out of any type of anger. And that has been like that from day one. I mean, the worst thing he ever did was tear up some paper dinosaurs that my mom got me from elementary school. Now, and it wasn't because of me. He was just mad at something.
And I will say, meeting your daughter, she has that same type of spirit and everything as well. I mean,
Right.
So you done good. Like it's in the family.
She got more out of this place. I love my daughter. Oh my goodness.
We know.
My baby girl.
We know.
Yes. And you sitting here talking about your brother 50. What you doing when you turn 50? Soon.
I'm gonna be old.
Nah. That is not old. Because I'm right there with you. That is not old.
Hey, you know what? Hey, these couple of gray strands coming up in my locks are gonna be real gray by the time I'm 50.
I got a whole gray streak right here. Boop, boop, boop. That's not light. That's not shine. That is all. That's gray right here.
That's a beauty mark. It's all good.
There's a reason why I wear this from.
Always call us vampires. Every time she saw us, she said, "Oh, there go the vampires."
Yes. Yeah. We'll give you some vampire teeth. Do that. We're gonna perform in vampire teeth.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
I want you to do a poem today.
Called Vampire Teeth or Vampire?
I just wanted to do a poem.
Recite
it with the teeth in.
Oh.
But speaking of poems to who I am.
Oh, okay. Well, you're
is it time to go? Oh, okay. We leaving? Oh.
Boop, 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 boop.
Ooh. Hi, y'all. My name is Keith Burton. Not to be confused with Keith Sweat, Keith Murray, Keith Washington. Yes. I know that life is the most beautifulest thing in this world. I like to let my forever love know that I'll be kissing you and loving you all through the night. And I just want to make it last forever and never. But you see, I'm a slightly different Keith. See, I'm that Keith that can take a dry valley and turn them into raging rapids in rapid fashion. That Keith. Yeah, I know. Give me a second. Let me start over. My name is Keith Burton. It's not to be confused with Keith Sweat, Keith Washington, Keith Murray. Yes, I know life is the most beautifulest thing in this world. Know that I'm with my forever love. I'd like to let her know that I'll be kissing you and loving you all through the night. I just want to make it last forever. But I'm a slightly different Keith. See, I'm that Keith that can take a dry valley and turn them to raging rapids in rapid fashion. That Keith that can make her feel the type of passion she's never quite felt before. That Keith that can talk her panties off or just slowly allow them to majestically slide off on their own. Yeah, I'm that Keith that isn't exactly the object of everyone's desires, but I could be the ignition to her fire where little is required, but so many expectations are thoroughly exceeded on a daily basis. I'm that Keith that stays hungry for her, eager to devour her increasingly throbbing clitoris that distinctively calls for me, and I instinctively answer that call like I have a cape and a K on my chest. See, this Keith is a breast man, a leg man, a face, feet, and pussy man. See, I give lip service and lip service. I'm that Keith that can take as well as I can give, each equally unforgiving in its intensity. See, there's no sitting on the fence for me. I'm going all in. Not 1 centimeter miss. For her dish is best served, steaming hot, filling her warm, running juices lather my dick. Balm good enough to heal the sickness. For you see, this Keith was once ill. Now I'm strong as a stallion. I know. Sausage may not be Italian, but her walls swallow me like it's the greatest sustenance in the world. I'm that Keith that she'll be calling, and I must be some type of deity or refuge because she can't stop accompanying my name with God and shit. Her bit lip bleeding profusely as I suck on that open wound. The piston pounding on her inner engine block, her giving thanks for the cock that crowed in her womb. Well, you see, this Keith is consumed with satisfaction, possessed with pleasure, and this session has no real measure of time, for nobody dares look at a clock, because the only tick-tock that'll be heard is the sound of the springs to the rhythmic motions of our loving. I'm that Keith that people at least a few doors down will know, because remember those calls I mentioned to you earlier? Well, they didn't stay within the walls of our humble abode, and as we both exploded, your name was made known too. I'm that Keith that'll still be gazing into her eyes long after the deed is done, because I'd be more than willing to give that body another run, give her another shot of that man liquor that she just turned up. What is burnt up will surely reignite, and that cycle of passion can begin again. So, let me ask you, do you know which Keith I am?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Hashtag that Keith. That's
What?
weird.
That almost didn't happen. No. Oh, you already know there's a story behind this one.
Oh yeah.
on. Oh my goodness.
I'm listening.
I'm
First off, I was taking a drink right as you talked about Italian sausage. I just want you to know that.
You know not to take a drink during that, Keith, because there's a whole bunch in there. You cannot.
It is. It was.
There is no that Keith without that Keith. You know this. Clearly. Oh my gosh. Oh.
You're right. I was childish. You're right.
This poem is what made the name.
Yes.
Right.
So go ahead and tell the story, and I'll give you my comment when you finish, because I got something to say. I just want you to say what you got to say first.
Come on. When your name is Keith, and you're born in the early to mid 70s, and you've lived through the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, you know Every other person come, yo, Keith Sweat, what's up, man?
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And I've heard Keith Murray. I was like, look, I ain't touched weed in Lord knows how long. And you know, Get Lifted was my song. So, but you know, in a way, you get tired of it. Almost like when somebody says you look like a baby. I mean, from high school, I was 14 years old. I looked like I was about 8. A couple blocks away from the high school was the elementary school. You got juniors and seniors pointing, bro, you need to be that way. As you get older, you learn to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the same sense, you start to learn to appreciate who they want to associate you to. But sometimes you just got to remind people who you are.
Thanks.
So that I'm that Keith was just like, yes, we're gonna do this, and the words just exploded on the page. Like, this is the first time a poem like that came up since I wrote "I'll Be That." We'll do that one day, not today. But basically, as soon as I wrote the poem, even as the words, like literally word for word, was being put on paper, I was like, something is up with this. Didn't really know what it was at the time, but I was like, something is up with this poem.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a songwriter. It's like when they know, like, I'm sure Alicia Keys sits down there and, you know, she's playing her piano and she starts saying, "This girl is on fire." I'm sure she knew that song was going to be this.
Right. She felt it in right in here. Right in here.
I felt it when she said it, and I'm a dude. So, and mind you, Alicia Keys is one of my all-time favorite performers. Between her and Brian McKnight, and don't hurt me on this one, and Lionel Richie, because he was one of the greatest songwriters of the 80s.
Why would we hurt you on that?
Because, you know, he got a bad rap for getting beat up by his ex-wife.
Okay, so he got whooped. He could still sit down and sing. He had you dancing on the ceiling. He gave you all night long. Ballerina Girl, Penny Lover. Like, okay, see, all right.
Lionel Richie to this day. She loves her some Lionel Richie. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't sleep on Lionel over here.
I still sit in this room playing Lionel Richie songs, and I know my girlfriend is like, you know, I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna watch. Just do what you do.
I mean,
did you put it in there with her?
Nikita is not muted.
No, she's not. Oh, she's not.
I don't know if you can hear us, but I'm saying, Nikita, you are not muted. If you can hear us, your screen is just gone. Not your. Okay, maybe she might be muted now.
She was over there singing. I heard her. Is it me you're looking for?
Somebody else.
She was fixing her hair.
KP is watching now. Yeah, and KP is watching now. So hey, KP.
What? What's going on, bro?
Yes, and I was gonna say, so we were gonna try not to talk about this because you know we be trying to respect people's privacy, but not really. So I'm just gonna say this. So when you were doing your poem, you started it. I'm gonna tell you what it was. The second when you restarted, you looked at the camera. When you started the first time, you were looking at your woman. Don't play. Let's talk about it. Is that how you messed up? Grinning at each other. I don't miss nothing.
Well, I might have been a little distracted.
A little bit.
But you know, when you get to a certain age, you do sometimes have hiccups. So I'm not gonna blame her entirely for that. Like,
we're not gonna blame your age either, because I saw where you were looking. It's all in where you look. Your mind goes where your eyes go, and your eyes were above the screen and over.
I was told, but I was told, I saw this TikTok video that said if your eyes start looking in a certain direction and up, that means you're trying to think of something creatively.
You were looking you were looking over. You weren't looking up. You were looking over.
Nah, that's not what you was doing. You was talking to somebody. We need to hurry up and end this show so they can. Okay.
So they can re-experience that Keith, because over and over again.
Over and over and over and over.
We know. We know.
I had to say something. I had to say. I was gonna let it slide. We weren't even gonna say nothing this whole show. But you know what?
No.
Had to.
I mean, I'd be making sure she all right.
Mm-hmm. I know you do. After that, Keith, you sure do.
I'm so happy. I was gonna
say my name. Say my name.
No.
I'm over here crying. Like this is.
Lord, don't cry, Blackbird. It's gonna be all right.
Oh no, trust me. For you, it's gonna be all right. Some of us is still in quarantine by ourselves.
Quarantine.
We don't have people reciting poetry to us.
Ooh. You know what? I've been slacking in my poetic duties. So,
honey, you got a whole regiment, like plethora over there. So
yes, you don't need to write. You have it in front of you. Like you said, you don't always write when you're in a relationship. Right. So stay there. We don't need no new stuff. We need to get this right. In a book. Don't even worry about it.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I've written a couple of them like that.
That was everything. That was everything.
I love y'all.
When you said that, the craziest thing is I write better when I'm not in a relationship, and if I'm not in a good relationship, I do a lot of writing. If I'm in a good relationship, they may never get a poem because I'm in it and experiencing it. So that's why I said, so if you don't write nothing else, you're good. Get that book together. That means you good and you happy.
Yes, ma'am.
What she said.
Mm-hmm. You hear him? He said yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I heard. Hey, don't be surprised you see a new one pop up every once in a while, but it ain't because I'm not happy.
Right. But we do understand.
I might be overly happy.
There's no such thing as overly. Your cup can runneth over with joy. I'm gonna get the person in here tonight.
We living through a whole pandemic.
Just popped in.
Happiness where you need it.
Right. Erica just popped in. She said, "Hey y'all." Hey
Erica.
Hey girl.
Family's here.
Yes, and that's what TC said earlier when we said hey to him. He was like, "Hey family." Oh yeah, we got the whole family here tonight. So and
y'all don't know how worn out I've been. I was like, Lord, I hope when I get home I will be all right. Maybe I'll be able to get a shower and I won't look like I'm drunk on the screen. Like, y'all know.
You don't look drunk.
That's what it's like every night. They got you working 6 days.
Yeah.
That's real. That's true.
Yeah. Being essential is
essential.
It's not easy.
It's not.
Hey, right. You even think about coughing, you got to be worried.
Ooh, right.
Hey.
Right.
How have you been dealing? I got to worry about is my blood pressure. I'm happy.
And that's what I'm saying. How have you been dealing with work and COVID and all that, going to people's homes and stuff? I mean, I know you're outside for the most part, right?
I cover as much as possible, but you'd be surprised the percentage of people who open their doors, don't have a mask on, and be like, well, I ain't worried about all that.
Or clothes. They just be like, hey.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna need somebody's grandma to put them britches on. I ain't trying to see all your glory, okay?
Right.
How did I know?
Look, that don't not look like morning glory. That look like late evening.
I'm not coming back.
Midnight.
I'm not coming back.
And everybody
from home. I do. For real.
Right. EM said everybody working from home need that internet. Yes.
Hey,
But yes, that midnight. We can't have no midnight.
Everybody who get AT&T fiber, they get 1,000 meg. You want to get 1,000 meg?
Yeah, I know about that.
Yup. So is there we've hit our hour. Is there anything you want to share with us before you go? And I know your birthday's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
You mean like another poem or?
That's up to you. Do you want to do another poem? Do you want to talk till you close out? What do you want to do?
Dang, nabbit.
It's your show.
It's up
Yes,
to you.
one more. Let's do one more.
Okay,
We'll
we
see
do
if we
one.
remember it.
Oh,
Let's do one
okay.
more.
I mean, yeah. Picking it up. We're sliding out.
Gotta do my favorite poem. Okay. How can you say that I don't love you when the palpitations of my heart have been synced with yours since our collaborative accounts have been recognized and established? The magic within us required no secret Latin words, no forbidden spells, no putrid ingredients some potion would entail, but a flow of chakra that could only resonate through a specified spiritual connection. The election for me to feel each and every joy and pain that you experience wasn't brought into my existence until I unconsciously realized that you were the one. When I had actually begun counting the freckles on your face, the measurement of each trace of tantalizing curvature, which brought an overture of the most profound love song my imagination could concoct. The pops in my mind remind me of the cherishable moments that were meant to last until the last space of the universe. Man could only dream of accessing, cease to expand, and the demand to grow no longer becomes a viable option when all real love is bought in soulful configurations, not greedy green denominations. When it's over, really means that it's over, not just over and over, but just once. How could you say that I don't think about you when the very curves from my hand expand from the ingrained mechanism these cerebral gears manufacture? Mm-mm-mm. Oiled by only your brand of transmission fluid. For you see, these phrases would mean absolutely nothing. That everything is you and you are everything, and you make my entire set of extremities sing angelic refrains and retains its consistency from dawn to dusk. This must be tangible, manageable, or be able to access the plenteous banks of thoughts and emotion that stem from the notion that your presence as stamped a permanent postage should be delivered to eternity's door. I mean, what more of you could I adore that would restore and renew the clogged pores of these mental corridors? They're like a novel that needs no intro, provides no ending, but it's a never-ending climax of blissful facts that lacks the crash that usually follows as I sing a high note so sweet and mellow that bellows straight to your heart. I mean, what part of you're always on my mind do you not understand? For I demand, no, I crave for your presence. For you are a present I convulse to unwrap, though the fact is I know you wonder if you even exist in me. Well, I miss you and embrace you, all at the same time. For each rhyme and rhythm from within and without leaves no doubt that your influence accelerates like raging rapids through my veins. My shell and my aura have never been the same since the day you came along. This strong sense of the determination has grown Herculean, and I've been filled with enough helium to elevate me to levels I've only once stumbled upon. See, I'm humbled when I think of where I was before all of this entered into my life. Before you, my purpose entered my life. Before the thought of having an actual wife was merely just a two-dimensional image. Now, real possibilities start to draw near as I hear those questions whispered in my ear. Do I love you? Do I think about you? Do you even exist to me? Well, the answer is obvious, but I guess it shall remain hidden until the proper moment arises. Thank you.
Yes. Do we have to ask? Is that new or is that?
Oh, that's no, it's not.
Oh,
What?
I like
That might be old, but that was resurrected. 'Cause
Yeah.
I saw how you got into that one too.
Oh yeah, I love that.
and
I was
EM back.
already, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love y'all. You already know.
Yes.
You know we love you too.
And we know who else you love too.
Hi.
Yay.
Yeah. No, I'm not looking that way. I'm not looking that way.
You can't not look that way, Kiefer.
Right.
See, and I said it again. Risen Phoenix, you can't not look that way. And that's how we know. Mm-hmm.
And knowing is half the battle.
It's all the battle.
It is. It is. So do you have any closing remarks where people can find you, follow you, catch you? Any more virtual shows, whatever you got going on?
You know what? Let's go ahead and Instagram right now. You can find me at Flying Inferno 46. It is spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled with 46. That is how old I am now. It will change on August the 12th. Just letting you know. Twitter, I don't get on there very much, but it is KB the Phoenix. On Twitter. I got a TikTok. I didn't even know what my TikTok name was until somebody responded to me on a live yesterday.
Don't do that.
Apparently it's Keith Burton 46. I was like, oh, thanks.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Right.
But, and of course, the name that you see on the screen is my artist page, The Risen Phoenix / hashtag that Keith.
On the books of faces, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And I want to say EM Bat said that all sweet. That's so sweet when you talk about your boo.
Mm-hmm.
And graining and blushing and stuff.
Don't make it special.
You know we got to.
Uh-huh.
I know.
And he about to be shy when this camera go off.
Ooh, don't. Hey. All right. You ain't got to tell everybody, but yeah, you're right. Oh, and guess what time it is? It's 8:12. It's my birthday.
Yes.
It's divine.
Look, so this is a great time to close right on your birthday before you.
I know, right? I know. Y'all know how to do a show for real.
I mean, we do. I mean,
yes. So, ladies, do y'all have any closing remarks or anything y'all want to say before we go?
We are good. See you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Okay. All right. Y'all have a good one.
Bye. And we're still